name is Dr. Alistair Hewitt, and if you're seeing this, then you have level 3 clearance or higher. If you don't, then you will be eligible for immediate termination. You have been warned. Today, we will be looking at SCP-035, otherwise known as the Possessive Mask. We'll be discussing the usuals, so item number, object class, special containment procedures, description, and of course, addendums. So, enjoy. Item number, SCP-035. Object class, Keter. Special containment procedures. SCP-035 is to be kept within a hermetically sealed glass case with no fewer than 10 centimeters of thickness. This case is to be contained within a steel, iron, and lead-shielded room at all times. Doors are to be triple locked at all times, with the exception of allowing personnel in or out. No fewer than 2 armed guards are to be posted at any time. Guards must remain outside at all times and are not allowed within the containment room under any circumstances. A trained psychologist is to remain on the site at all times. Research personnel are not to touch SCP-035 at any time. SCP-035 must be moved to a new sealed case every 2 weeks. The previous case must be disposed of via SCP-101 as it shows no adverse reactions to SCP-035's corruption. Anyone who comes into contact with SCP-035 when it has possession of a host must be given immediate psychological evaluation. Next, we'll be moving on to the description of SCP-035. Description. SCP-035 appears to be a white porcelain comedy mask, although at times it will change to tragedy. In these events, all existing visual records, such as photographs, video footage, even illustrations of SCP-035 will automatically change to reflect its new appearance. A highly corrosive and degenerative viscous liquid continuously seeps from the eyes and mouth holes of SCP-035. Anything coming into contact with this substance will slowly decay over a period of time, depending on the material, until it decays completely into a pool of its original containment. The glass seems to react the slowest with the effects on the item, hence the construction choice of its immediate container. Living organisms that come into contact with the substance react much in the same way, with no chance of recovery. Origin of the liquid is unknown. The liquid is only visible from the front and does not emerge or is even visible from the other side. Subjects within 1.5 to 2 meters of SCP-035 or in visual contact with it will experience a strong urge to put it on. When SCP-035 is placed on the face of an individual, an alternate brainwave pattern from SCP-035 overlaps the original host, effectively snuffing it out and causing brain death to the subject. Subject claims to be the consciousness contained within SCP-035. Bodies of the possessed subject decay at a highly accelerated rate, eventually becoming little more than mummified corpses. Nevertheless, SCP-035 has demonstrated the ability to remain in cognitive control of a body experiencing severe structural damage, even if the subject's body literally decays to the point where motion is not mechanically possible. No effect is to be found when placed on the face of an animal. Conversations with SCP-035 have proven informative. Researchers have learned various details about other SCP objects and history in general, as SCP-035 has been at many momentous events. SCP-035 displays a highly intelligent and charismatic personality, both amiable and flattering to those who speak with it. SCP-035 has scored in the 99th percentile on all intelligence and aptitude tests administered to it, and appears to have a photographic memory. However, psychological analysis has discovered SCP-035 to possess a highly manipulative nature, capable of forcing sudden and profound changes to interviewers' psychological state. SCP-035 has proven to be highly sadistic, prompting some to commit suicide and transforming others into near mindless servants with linguistic persuasion alone. SCP-035 has stated that it has immediate knowledge of the workings of the human mind, and has implied that it could change anyone's views, giving it enough time. Next, we'll be moving on to additional notes and addendums. Additional notes. SCP-035 was found in a sealed crypt in an abandoned house in Venice in 18 data expunged. Addendum 035-1. 035 has been found to be able to possess anything of a humanoid shape, including mannequins, corpses, and statues. SCP-035 has been able to motivate all into movement, removing the need to expose live subjects to SCP-035. Still, anything it possesses inevitably decays into motionlessness. Addendum 035-2. SCP-035 has facilitated an escape attempt, convincing several of the research staff to aid it in its bid for freedom. Insurrection failed. All staff that have been in contact with SCP-035 have been terminated, and mandatory psych evaluations have been implemented on all personnel who come into contact with SCP-035. Addendum 035-3. It is determined that SCP-035 is capable of telepathy, whether or not it possesses a host, even penetrating the subconscious of others and using the knowledge it finds to its advantage. Extreme caution is advised when choosing subjects to converse with SCP-035. Addendum 035-4. SCP-035 has expressed an interest in other SCPs, most notably SCP-517 and SCP-682. Dr. Data Expunge has expressed worry that should SCP-035 bond with either, their regenerative qualities would negate corruption and would give it a permanent host. Addendum 035-5. After several more escape attempts, and after review of SCP-035's incident record, High Command has ordered that it be permanently sealed within the facility and prohibited from being allowed any hosts. Several personnel have protested against this, with some erupting into violence. As a direct result, all personnel that have come into contact with SCP-035 have been terminated. Going forward, all personnel that deal with SCP-035 are to be rotated frequently, and contact is to be limited, even in its dormant state, to as little as possible. Addendum 035-6. Personnel within 10 meters of SCP-035 have recently reported feeling uneased, stating they can hear unintelligible whispering. Several others have suffered from severe migraines. Object has been monitored, but there has been no change in its dormant behavior, and no sounds have been recorded. The motion to reinstate SCP's host privileges has been brought up once more, if only for a temporary basis to discover the changes in the new object's behavior. Denied. Addendum 035-7. Now this is a slightly longer one than the previous, so strap in. The walls of SCP-035's containment cell suddenly begun secreting a black substance. Tests on this substance revealed that it to be human blood, although highly contaminated with several foreign and unknown agents. Substance is corrosive, having a pH of 4.5, Prolonged exposure to the walls have proven to deteriorate their structural integrity. More notably, it seems to be forming patterns on the wall. Several segments have been paragraphs in various languages, including Italian, Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit. Translations pending. Other segments appear to be diagrams depicting ritualistic sacrifice and mutilation, often for the arcane benefit of the person committing them. Several staff members have been shocked to note that all of the sacrifices bear an uncanny resemblance to various personnel and their loved ones, often in conflicting positions. Researchers, while in the room examining the newly formed patterns, have complained of hearing loud whispering and high-pitched, unnerved laughter at irregular intervals. Personnel in this section working daily near and around SCP-035's containment unit have had several catastrophic morale damage, with an all-time high suicide rates in staff in that area, whether or not they have had contact with SCP-035. The only change in SCP-035's dormant behaviour is regarding its contained glass case. Degradation of the case is increased to a high degree, enough so that it will shatter on occasion, causing widespread dispersal of SCP-035's contaminant. This occurs quite often at the most inopportune times, so far resulting in 6 casualties and 3 fatalities of both research and cleanup staff. Addendum 035-8. In light of the mass suicide/homicide of members of the research team have asked with translating these passages garnered from SCP-035's containment cell, the morale damage in this area and general loss of staff when dealing with SCP-035 to either death or insanity, it has been decided to coat the inner and outer wall of the containment cell in SCP-148, which has proven well in the containment of SCP-132, see document 132-1, in order to hopefully block the high levels of negativity being emitted by SCP-035. Addendum 035-9. The use of SCP-148 has worked well, causing morale and suicide to return to near pre-SCP-035 rates. However, the material appears to facilitate the negativity within the cell, causing a veritable greenhouse effect inside. Personnel inside the cell have stated that they feel a heavy sense of dread, fear, anger, and general depression, as well as hearing constant, near inaudible whisperings upon immediate entry. Prolonged stays can cause severe migraines, suicidal tendencies, heavy hemorrhaging of the blood vessels around the eyes, inside the mouth and nose, a general hostility to others, and for the whispering to increase to an almost deafening volume intersected by constant mocking laughter. Exposure of more than 3 hours inevitably resulted in the subjects falling into a deep psychosis and attempting to harm either themselves or others. Most spoke in Latin or Greek despite the fact that several did not previously know how to speak the languages beforehand. The presence of blood in both word and diagram formations have increased disproportionately, the walls becoming cluttered and the formations beginning to overlap each other. The substance has proven to be more difficult to clean and even more corrosive than it was originally recorded, with a pH of roughly 2.4. General estimations give the current walls a life of 2 months before they will need to be replaced. It is gradually becoming more difficult to contain SCP-035, and the debate to reinstate host privileges has once again come up. It has been denied. Addendum 035-10. The walls, ceiling and floor of SCP-035's containment cell have now been completely saturated in blood. All personnel entering and guarding the area must wear full hazmat protection suits. Constant cleaning efforts are being instated. Addendum 035-11. The magnitude, intensity, and recurrence of the phenomena that occurs within SCP-035's containment cell have increased to an alarming degree. The cell door has been known to become locked of its own accord whilst personnel are inside, and is unable to be opened for a period of time. Appendages form out of the larger puddles of blood and often attempt to grab or harm personnel near them. Blurry apparitions have started appearing to the staff. Electronic devices no longer work inside the cell, and light cannot be turned on, though there is no physical reason why it does not work, forcing those entering to use non-electrical light-based sources. Cleaning measures are having no discernible effect on the cell, and the walls are degrading at a very high rate, forcing them to be replaced within a week at best, although the blood makes it nearly impossible to properly achieve this. SCP-035 may need to be moved to an entirely new cell entirely, with the old one being sealed off and disengaged from the rest of the facility. Thank you all very much for watching. Remember to, if you want to keep up to date with everything on the SCP files, please like and follow. And remember, don't tell your friends. I've been Dr. Alistair Hewitt, signing off.